CRMs have become, really prevalent in all businesses. Salesforce, obviously the big one, but then in commercial real estate, there's Apto, Ascendix, RealNext, some of these other bigger ones. And it's a lot of people use them as their Rolodex, right? Their contact,
Yep.
kind of keeping track of those relationships. And so what do you guys do for your contacts? And like I said, the relationships, the people that are bringing you business, and how do you keep track of all of that?
So this is really, it's really been the scary part about our business is people view the CRM as the end all be all, and it's not. It's a automated Rolodex. We use Apto. Which is a Salesforce product. Can you take Apto and make it track how you do this? And the answer is yes. It's extremely difficult to do, extremely hard to track it. So we stopped doing it on Apto. We tried to do it. We were doing it manually before, and we went back to manual again because it was way easier to track every transaction. So when we get a transaction done, we have about 20 fields that we track. What the SIC code was, where we got the transaction, who ran the transaction, who actually brought the transaction in, what submarket they went into. All of these things go into our spreadsheet, and then we pull data out of that. Data is only good. Shitty data is shitty results. So data is only good if you're doing it right. So one of the reasons we created our new product is because people aren't simply doing it. They say they have a CRM, but it's fine. But the CRM is not data. It's really, how do we track people?
Well, we get a lot of people who come to us who say, hey, I've invested in Salesforce or Apto, and it's too clunky, it's too much. I can't wrap my arms around it, right? That's one type of persona that we get. The other one is, hey, I've invested in Salesforce, Apto, and I've spent tens of thousands of dollars and 9 months trying to figure it out, and still clunky. And so there's really the two sides of that. And so, like you said, our products, right, our two products. One is more on the broker side, OS Deal View, just to track their pipeline, track their deals. We've made it super easy. 5 fields, fill out a quick form on a deal. You can see visuals. We'll do all the legwork. We'll do all the work. And then the other one with the lender database, again, bulk upload. We'll help you add all your lenders and kind of understand how you should be looking at your lender relationships if you're on the mortgage broker side. So trying to do a lot of the work that is hard, right? People pay consultants who don't know the commercial real estate industry to do this for them, right? These Salesforce consultants, and they can't really help, and it's time consuming and super expensive. So being the industry experts, or at least coming from the industry and understanding how that world works, we've tried to do a lot of the work, to say, hey, really, really low effort up front and really high value on the back end with these two new products.
Yeah, the biggest thing that we find is most commercial real estate brokers and mortgage brokers have been successful because of who they are. They build their business based on their relationships, their personality, their drive, those things. And so they now find themselves in a scenario where they are competing with younger people who are, digital natives, and they are doing things the old way. And so it's very hard for them to kind of transition. So they think, I got a CRM, so therefore I'm automated. And that's really not the case. And what we found on our own team was, once we started tracking data and we were getting more and more data, the more data we got, the more hungry we got for that data. There is not, and if you look at economics, one util, if you have one util, then your desire goes down. Data is the opposite. It's like a tapeworm. The more data that you get, the more that you want. And we wake up here in 2023, and we recognize that we are way better today than we were 5 years ago. And we're way better today than we were a year ago, because we keep tracking more and more data. And what we found is it just got more and more time consuming. So having having our new product on our team is saving us hundreds of hours a year and giving us better data, which is incredible. And so what we're going to brokers now and saying, hey, for 5 minutes of your time, we can actually give you something that you've always wanted, but you didn't know how to do it. And I'm not, this isn't a sales pitch. You know, our podcast here isn't to kind of sell people on what we do. It's to kind of open their eyes to, like, there is an easy way out there. And data, how important data is. So let me give you an example of how important data is. If you're on a team, you got to have data to be able to talk about splits on your team. So we use the data to determine our splits. I got off the phone with Andrew earlier today discussing our splits. And we do it based on our data. How do we grow our team? We look at our data. We look at last year, how many landlord deals that we completed, how many tenant rep deals that we completed, where we got those, and how do we focus on this? So what are we focusing on? The type of transaction. We get our data today and we go, how do we get our sources? So we know where our sources come from. As a broker, I used to have a feeling where it came from, but now I know. So now we can look at this and go, this is something we absolutely have to do.